We are right back here, 10:38 on the dot in the heart of the River Bend, and, well, nerve-wracking. The guy sitting across from me is my boss. How does this go?
You better not screw up, CJ. You better not screw up. Can you hear me?
We can. Joining us now is John Hentrich and Brigit Holt, because as you guys saw in the news just a couple of days ago, well, there's the potential for the community center to be back open, and how exciting is that? Brigit, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
It's nice to meet you. And, John, I got to ask you right off the bat. So many people ask me this question about the RiverBender brand. There's the Tech Center, the RiverBender building, the RiverBender Community Center, RiverBender.com, RiverBender Radio. So talk to us about this brand of the organization.
In the Riverbend community with all the other things named Riverbend, it gets confusing for sure.
Yeah. So talk to us about that. So RiverBender building, that was sold recently, correct?
That's correct. I appreciate you bringing it up. I think there has been some confusion in the marketplace. When I was younger and had all kinds of energy, it just seemed like every opportunity was a great opportunity, and you grab onto so much stuff. In fact, we just had a guy in our office the other day, you and I were talking to, a young man who just gets their hands in everything. And that's me to some degree. But as you get a little further along and different things are growing, there's times where it's important to pivot, change, and grow in different ways. And really what I wanted to do is kind of refocus on our core business, which is our media company, which is now you're a part of, obviously.
We do okay at that, I think.
I think your show, a fantastic addition to the RiverBender family of businesses and things that we're working on. I'm super excited to work with Brigit with the community center. But so the building last year, about a year and a half ago now, I sold the building. And I'm just a tenant here at the building. I've signed a 5-year lease and we'll be here for the long haul. No plans to move or do anything like that.
Good. It was hard to put the studio together with you.
So we don't want to move. We're too set up and ingrained here in the community. The RiverBender Tech Center, my lovely wife, Kathy, has taken over the management of that and the ownership of that business. So that's another small piece off my plate that allows me to kind of refocus. If Brigit, if everything works out as planned, Brigit is going to be taking over the RiverBender Community Center under a new name and new management, and I will have, other than a transition period and any help that I can provide, I will eventually step out of that as well. So I'm excited about it. I'm really excited for the kids and the community in general. Most people who have followed this story know that as much as I did not want to close the community center, I have been looking hard to try to find someone to take over. We had our conversations with the city. We've had our conversations with the local church. We've looked at every other angle, and then the good Lord drops right in our lap, Brigit Holt. So
well, that's a perfect segue, because I met Brigit a couple of times, and both times you're just so eager when you're meeting with Kathy and you're talking to all these people about coming in and helping. I mean, the community center, I've told people yesterday, I'll tell it today, was part of my life growing up. Every Friday night coming down here for the dances and the lock-ins that you guys were putting on.
That makes me feel old, CJ.
And I know, and I'm not even the oldest yet, out of that group. But, I mean, so many great memories were created here, and it's great to see that you have so much passion to keep this going. How has this been to just kind of get started, to see what you need to do to get this back online? How has that process been?
Overwhelming, to say the least, but it's been really exciting.
Right.
My son goes to the center. He has missed out on a few nights because it sold out before I was able to get his tickets. So I know it's really, all the kids that know about it love coming here. So I kind of like to be a visionary and saw all the possibilities for future growth here, and also just wanting to bring back what has already been successful here. So,
well, tell me your story. So I read that you're from Chicago originally, right? Or were you up in Chicago?
I am from Alton.
Oh, I lied. No, sorry, John, I blew it already.
No.
No, it's a very similar story. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I was born in Christian Hill neighborhood
Oh, cool.
and lived there for about 9 months before we started moving progressively north until we ended up in Chicago. My dad worked for the Park District here and then started working for the Park Districts in Arlington Heights and Winnetka up in the Chicagoland area. So he is from here and my mom is from here. We've got, long lines of history that go back in the whole River Bend area. In fact, I think that little old house in Grafton is my great-grandma's
That's
house.
part of the family.
Really?
Neat.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I love this area. I was in Chicago. I was a naturalist. I worked for the University of Illinois Extension Office and worked with volunteers there. So that's another thing that I thought was really exciting about here is that it's
Right.
powered by volunteers.
When's your experience working with volunteers and organizing that should only make this a very smooth transition, I would assume.
We hope so. We hope so.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've got the family background of recreation plus the volunteer coordinating experience, and so it's just been really exciting to see all the possibilities.
Well,
I was just going to say it's been fun too to watch as her son has been here, spending time with him, and then also as she's brought her entire family kind of in the fold, her folks and her oldest daughter. I don't, if you want to expand on that a little bit, but I think it's pretty neat that your core team right now is your family, and you're
Is it really?
kind of expand out from there.
That's incredible. So tell us about that. That makes this even more of a great story, but also a great team now because now they can't run
They
away
can't
and
leave
hide
you.
from you. Yeah.
They can't leave you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so my dad working
Sorry
in all
about
of
that,
the
folks.
parks. Yeah, they can't run. I did bring them into this, and both of them are just now retiring, so I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I can lean on them a little bit more, but at the same time, I want to be careful about that. But both of them have helped me tremendously, and it wouldn't be possible without their help. My mom and her partner are lawyers, and then my dad, has all the experience in running park districts and stuff like that. So there's that, and then my son is so excited to come in.
I bet. I was going to ask you how this is going with him.
Well, he has had some programming ideas, and then he just likes coming, to the center in general.
Now, I got to ask you real quick, was your son's enthusiasm and his love for the teen center, was that really your biggest push to kind of get into this, or was it always something that you had in the peripheral that you were keeping an eye on?
Well, my mom volunteered here for
Okay.
some time, and that's how my son ended up coming here, and he absolutely loved it. I had come a couple times, and I loved it as well, but it wasn't until I saw the article in the RiverBender.com that basically put a call out for
Said,
proposals.
please help.
Yeah.
we need new blood to run this organization.
Yes, and it was right after I think the center closed. So I was like, wait, you can't close this place. This place
Right.
is amazing. And, going through it, like I said, the possibilities here are just fantastic. So
Yeah, and you're right. And John, let me switch back to you. When did you guys start the community center portion of RiverBender?
Not too long after we purchased the building. We
Okay.
purchased the building with the intent to not only move our offices in here. RiverBender used to run out of our home for,
That's fantastic.
I forgot how many years.
Hey,
but
so did Apple.
so did a lot of little startup businesses, especially .com businesses. So,
Yep.
we ran out of our house for a little while, and then had the idea to start the teen center and purchase the building. And I think that's probably been now 11 or 12 years ago, something
Wow.
along those lines. Been such an amazing experience.
Right.
I mean, it's so rewarding, and I can't wait. I know Bridget's excited about it, but I also know that when she gets really in the thick of things and you've got 150 kids around you that are all smiling, laughing, having a great time, and just
Yeah.
really looking forward to it, it is the most rewarding experience probably of my life. And I'm so excited to see that continue. So that's really cool.
Well, you're right. And by the way, I have never been thrown out of a teen center dance or lock-in. I just want to throw that
Just
out
for the
there.
record?
Just on the record.
That's more than Daniel can say.
Oh, really?
Speaking of
hear that story.
Speaking of Daniel, he, I think all the kids know Daniel, and many of the parents probably know Daniel. But he grew up in the center, moved on to be a volunteer in the center, then became an employee of the center, and is a board member now. And so there's, he was kicked out of one of his first events at the center when he was younger. I don't know if he was kicked out or put in timeout.
Both.
Foggy, yeah, but he was kind of in trouble. Had some dance moves that got him in trouble or something, and they called it a dance off. I don't want to go into too many more details, but it was pretty neat. He's such a great guy, and I'm excited for him as well because I know he's going to continue to be involved, like many of the board members. Hopefully, we stay tuned in.
Well, you know, and I've told people this, that I was actually out in Austin. When I was doing my pro wrestling training, I was telling my coach, I go, you won't believe this, but that community center, because I saw the story around then, it was like a Copacabana. You know, the line went out the door and around the corner, and there's so much love and passion here, and it's kind of carried on from, you know, the brothers going at first, and they tell their younger siblings about it. Yeah. They go, and it's just really cool. And Brigit, I mean, it's got to be exciting. I mean, I know there's a little bit of work we got to do to get this back online here before hopefully a great New Year's Eve party. What do we need to do to help you get this going?
Where do I start?
This is where the portion of the show where it goes to 60 minutes.
Remind everybody it's a volunteer-run organization.
It is a volunteer-run organization, and so I'm definitely looking for some great volunteers who are willing to be dedicated to the center, and hopefully keep coming back because, you know, as a volunteer coordinator in the past, I realized, you know, the people who are going to have the most effect on what's going on are the ones that stay with it. And so, you know, long-term volunteers are what I'm, you know, but at the same time, if you want to jump in and volunteer for a few events, of course.
Please do.
Yes. So volunteers is probably number one. And then donations. We do have a link up. We need to get, is it $6,000?
Yeah, we're looking at maybe $6,000 to kind of help Brigit get started. The community center is probably some people have read or heard before. There's a lot of things already in place for Brigit to build from. A lot of the inventory, the games, the furnishings, the computers, sound systems, all that kind of stuff is in place, which took a lot of fundraising and a lot of donations to put everything together that we currently have to work with. But going forward, if she wants to open first of the year or possibly December 30th is kind of a goal, I think, to have a New Year's Eve party. To get opened by that date, there's a lot of things that have to change when you change the brand of something and it's a completely new organization.
Right.
So she's got a new 501c3 to create. She's, you know, all new branding, signage, new website, all these kinds of things that have to take place. And then get tickets ready to sell and so on. So
no pressure.
A little bit of startup and you know, a little bit of startup costs that she's you know, working with. But I think, you know, our existing board is offering and eager to help as well. So kind of together, she'll have some skin in the game. We'll have some skin in the game, and hopefully we'll be off to the races pretty quickly. But you've got a Facebook group out there. I know that what's the name of the group again?
Reopen the RiverBender Center.
That's pretty darn explanatory myself.
That's pretty easy. Reopen the RiverBender Community Center.
And then you have a donation link available?
I do, yeah. It's on that website. I'm not sure if it's on the RiverBender.
It should be in the...
It's on the RiverBender Community Center website. It's on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And then
I think there's a link in the article and so on. Yeah, we'll be sending out some emails as well.
And, you know, might as well throw it on the on-demand video today and say, hey, if you want to copy and paste this link to really help out Thanksgiving, give some love and support to the hopeful reopening on December 31st, hopefully for a great New Year's Eve party. So if we get the money, which I think we'll do okay. I think everyone
Hopefully
loves this
you can
place.
help us raise that money, CJ. This is all on you.
I told Ray Hartman and I have the same motto. I gave endorsement insurance, right? Endorse the opponent of the political guy, you know, and that way he'd still win because the guy I endorse always loses. So I stay out of this thing. But, you know, what is this going to look like? So we're going to have a new name?
It's going to be a brand new name?
Yeah, it's called iMerge. So, you know, sort of like the iRobot or, you know, iPhone or anything. You know, stuff like that.
I everything
the
these
little
days.
I with the, you know, capital merge.
I do have my iPen. I'll be here all week.
The way that we came up with that name is, I was thinking about adolescents because it's going to be geared more towards, like middle school age kids. Of course, there'll be programming for people of all ages, but the Friday nights and most of the center's programming is geared towards middle school aged children, or kids.
Right.
So emerge and emerging, and then also like when you take that apart, there's the technology with the I, and then merging together. And so I just thought that it was kind of a funny play on words that brought in the community, the age group, and the technology that's associated with the center all into one.
Well, it's perfect, and I think it's fantastic. So is that when are we gonna start seeing new branding, new website? Is that gonna be in January, February potentially?
Whatever is the opening date will be opened under a new organization completely, a new name.
Yeah.
The other thing I think worth touching on just briefly, even though the plans are a little bit further down, and one of the things I know you and your dad are both excited about is the esports arena, possibly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now that's innovative. Talk to us.
That'll obviously bring people from all ages because...
all ages and hopefully far and wide.
Yeah, so tell us about that. Do you have any idea of what that's going to look like yet? That's some pretty big news. I mean, you're seeing all these high schools even starting to develop their own esports teams.
Yeah.
Get them practicing early and not in your own house. Send them here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send them
I
down.
think Jerseyville actually just came up with a team. So my dad has, he's in Parks and Recs, but he's also in sports, been in sports organizations. I think he ran Monster Stadium in San Francisco for a while.
Wow.
And so he keeps on top of what's coming up in the sports programming. And he said to me when I first came down, "What do you know about esports?" And I said, "Absolutely nothing." But my kiddo plays a whole lot of video games, and so I actually, when I first came down here, started looking it up and went over to the City Museum, and they have a huge esports program and then exhibit as well. And so, actually, when I first saw the application for this, I was like, "Wow, this is a great way for another not-for-profit to kind of get themselves immersed into the sports programming." And so that is something that we've been really excited about. I've been doing a lot of research on it, bringing my kids to some of their tournaments, and thought that this is, like I said, just the perfect place to be able to do that. And so it should be able to help the middle school kids train up to be into the high school teams, hopefully.
Well, I think it's great. And, if that's just the start of so many great ideas. John, how was this for you? Because I know that, at the time, it was it's not fun when you're going, man, no one's going to help us kind of take this over and transition.
It was a little bit of it was tough to take. It was a little bit of a slap, kind of almost, or like just disappointing. You think, man, the thousands of kids that have rolled through here.
Right.
Surely someone is going to take what we have built so far and grow it further. Because I knew after running, even the team that currently was behind me, are very dedicated board members. Those folks have also got 8 to 10 years in volunteerism. And I knew all of us as a team were getting, how much more can we put into this, and how do we make this last another 10 years? Because I know nobody that's on our current board is up for another 10-year renewal, right? It's like sign here for another 10 years. Nobody was ready to, I don't think, make that.
Right.
Maybe Daniel. But nobody else, we're in it. We love it. But at the same time, we're like, we need a long-term plan.
It was time.
Yeah, we know we need something long-term. I have 500 other things on my plate. And I think, how do we get somebody to step up and take over? And I just kept looking for a larger organization or a municipality or something like that. And then when Brigit showed up, I started to think, there's a lot of similarities. Young children. She was in Chicago, moved back to Alton. She's willing to put 100% of her heart and soul into this. Mm-hmm. And really, that might be, and I'm hoping and praying that might be the more powerful fit than an organization, even a larger organization, that really doesn't have that
stake in
emotional connection.
And you know
So-
what? We have about a minute left. Brigit, any parting words before we have you on again? Because we're going to have to right before we have this New Year's Eve party. I'm calling it now. We're going to have this. We're going to get 6,000. Brigit's got a great team. This is great. I mean, you guys have your family. You have a local family background. A lot of people in your team, your family have all these experiences and different facets that really help boost the community center. And then your passion's going to drive this. 30 seconds. What's your elevator pitch?
Oh my gosh.
Reopen the RiverBender Community Center on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Please go there. We're really excited. I want this to happen for the kids and for the community. And like he said, it's a wonderful place that a lot of people have worked really hard to build up, and it would be a real shame to lose this in the community.
You are absolutely right, John. Brigit, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, CJ.
And thank you to all of you. Time for me to say goodbye. We have a Thanksgiving special airing tomorrow, 9 live, and then following that Friday is the best of November. So there's nothing left for me to do to say other than go out, have fun, try not to do anything stupid, call an Uber, and try your best to stay out of jail.